We keep bouncing in and out here.
What?
We are now live here. Abnormal Alabama. My Haunted Dolls and Celeste and Don are Team Peak. And tonight is a cryptid night. And we have been with Don and Celeste before, and they've got some interesting stories. I don't know if Don has been through another portal or been beamed up by an alien or what, but they've had some interesting stories. And Don and I talked a little bit on the phone a few times since, and it never ending stories of things, adventures.
We do a lot.
From Bigfoot to zombies. So, Celeste, what do you think about zombies?
I try not to.
You don't want to think about them?
No. No.
No.
That's just something
So
I don't think we
anyway,
need.
huh?
I said I just think that's something we don't need in the world right now.
Oh, I figure we already got too many of them, huh?
Yeah. A lot of people walking around with no brain.
Oh, yeah. You're probably talking to one of them right here.
No offense intended.
So what's been happening? What's new, Celeste? I hadn't talked to you. What's going on?
Well, we're finding evidence. We're on the river, going up and down the Tennessee River, Kentucky Lake.
You guys sent me a picture. Is that the Tennessee River?
Yeah, it's the Tennessee River. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now you're in Kentucky?
We're in Tennessee.
Oh, well, I'm in Tennessee right now as well.
What?
Are you?
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
We're not far from the Mississippi River.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Be careful out there.
Yeah, well, been all over Memphis today, and Catherine's mother said, "Y'all be careful. It's a dangerous city." And so I wanted to call her mother up and say, I'm very disappointed because we ended up having to go to a cemetery to find dead people.
They wouldn't let
hang around Memphis long enough and you'll find some.
I tried to get us a tour of the morgue, but they wouldn't let me.
The problem is that it's not just Memphis. Our entire country's gotten pretty violent and pretty dangerous.
Pretty rough.
So I'm with you guys. I'd rather be out in the woods with Bigfoot or the white thing or something, but than I would with a bunch of humans.
Right.
You know?
Well, we just heard, just before we got on, we heard a huge tree knock. There's like islands in the river.
Yeah.
And we think it came from one of those islands.
So this is what you would call a hot spot for you guys.
We're camped right. We're camped right very near one. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm in Tennessee for a different reason, even though we had a very active day looking at different things. But I'm looking at and possibly going to purchase in the morning a Goldwing 3-wheeler.
Okay.
And been looking at pulling a camper trailer behind it. It's a little pop-up made for, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Made for a motorcycle.
Right.
Yeah. So that'd be, I think, a cool way to kind of travel and go camping and all that stuff.
Absolutely. We love camping.
But that's what. Yeah, we do too. All right, Celeste, back to you. I got distracted. So what's your latest and greatest story?
Latest and greatest. Well, there's been some howls. Lots of howls. I mean, just today we had one kind of in the woods.
Yeah, we had one just a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Just over here.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, we're in an area here that we have found, I mean, a lot of Bigfoot evidence and photographed a lot of Bigfoot evidence and dogman evidence. And this area here is kind of off the chart as far as the dogman goes, because it's just not. I haven't heard anything on any podcast, or I haven't seen anything on any site, Facebook site or website or anything about this area for a dogman. But this area does have dogmen in it, and which to us proves again that you just can't go to the much publicized areas, because a lot of it just hype, and that's just about it.
Yeah. Well, so I would not want you to give out your location. Let's put it that way.
Oh no! If we gave out our location, there'd be 1,000 people up here, man. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. And I think that really probably. You tell me your opinion. You're the professionals. I'm just guessing. But to me, if all of a sudden a bunch of people found out about it and it started getting deluged with all kind of Bigfoot hunters and whatnot, they might relocate.
Absolutely. And
did you hear that?
Yeah, we just heard another one. But the thing is, though, is that we already know what can happen if people do find out, because we have found that a lot of Bigfoot structures have been just literally destroyed.
Yeah.
And which is a shame in some areas. And it's just I don't know. There's I'm kind of hesitant on even talking about it, really, to tell you the truth, because it goes into negativity and everything, and it's just. But I will say this: you have opposing forces. You have one force that, that will never give you the truth. Okay, that has profited on this stuff for years, and then you've got the other force that is trying to bring out some truth inside the cryptid world.
Well, that's what we do.
And that's what we do. And there's other independent researchers to do the same thing.
So, according to the story that I've learned about you guys, you've been doing this a while. You're not new at it, but you've endured and probably still endure a lot of negative criticism and gossip and that sort of thing. Is that within the cryptid world, or trolls or whatever? Is that still a big issue you deal with?
Oh yeah, we've been hacked. We've had our pages hacked, all kinds of just all kinds of things. It just we're not very popular with
my phone's bugged.
Yeah, her phone's bugged.
What's that? Oh,
her phone's bugged. And the thing is, though, is we're not popular in the Bigfoot world at all, as far as the establishment world, as far as that goes. And there's a good reason for it. I mean, they are the big monkey people, the Great Ape Theory people. They've tried for over 60 years to prove that Bigfoot's a big ape, and he's not, and they can't prove it. They'll never prove it, and they've made so many millions of dollars on it that they have to keep this going. Yeah. And so they detract and try to destroy other people. But one thing, let's get off that topic, because it's just
negative.
It's just a negative topic.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, man, they make me want to puke. But anyway.
Okay.
But the thing is,
no puking.
But the thing is this.
At least you're outdoors.
Well, what we found out.
I still don't want to smell it.
The thing is this. What we found out about the Bigfoot is a whole lot different than what we thought. Maybe just several years ago. Okay. There's a whole lot. We found out there's a whole lot that we don't know, and so we believe.
Experience has led you to a new place.
Well, at one time years ago, I was a big, Bigfoot flesh and blood guy, and I still believe Bigfoot is flesh and blood. But the thing is, there's a whole lot of other things that we found out about the Bigfoot that if we didn't have these experiences, we wouldn't know about this, you know. But we know the Bigfoot can cloak. We know that the Bigfoot, can basically appear or disappear. It's just we don't know how he does it. We don't know how they do it. It's just we don't know if you want to call it paranormal. We prefer to call it supernatural. But the thing is, there's a whole lot to Bigfoot that people just don't know, and he's not a big monkey. That is so stupid. That's so stupid. But the thing is that because anybody that's ever really seen one, would know it's not a big monkey. So when I run across somebody and they say, "Oh, it looked like a big ape. It looked like a big gorilla," I know that person didn't see one. Okay, because I've seen them. Okay, so I mean, they can't BS us.
Yeah.
Well, what we're
would it be-
finding. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead, Celeste.
Well, what we're finding along the river lately is, they almost use it as a corridor, because we see evidence all up and down the river, and it would be nice if eventually that could be protected for their benefit.
Kind of on that note, correct me, it seems like somewhere in our conversations, I got the feeling that you may believe that the government or some agencies or somebody knows more than what they want you to know.
Because of a recent experience we've had, we actually don't want to talk about that.
Okay, fair enough. I don't want to get you in trouble.
We're kind of rebellious as far as that goes, but we're just trying to protect
the Bigfoot.
Yes.
Because we know now several instances where some of the information that we've given out has been used to destroy.
Okay. We're not going to go any further than that.
Well, I have never had a Bigfoot experience.
You should come further inland in Tennessee. You might.
Well, we want to get up there with you guys sometime when y'all are,
Sure.
We want to, that would be interesting because I've talked to a lot of people. I've read about it, but I've never really been, and I've done a lot of primitive camping and whatnot. I've just never had experience, and I never looked. Okay. I've had a UFO experience and a Men in Black experience.
I've never had Men in Black. Well, I've never seen them get out of the car. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we won't go any further with that this moment. So Celeste, have you had something phenomenal? Okay, let me backtrack. If anybody hadn't watched you before or listened to you,
I've not flipped dimensions lately.
You what?
I have not.
Oh.
Have you seen these videos, Celeste, where these people are flipping dimensions and they're like catching it on video? People have moved and they're coming back, and I posted the video on Abnormal Alabama. They're moving and they're coming. They pack their one item and they come back to their new house and they go to unpack the boxes, and there's two of the items.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw where the woman supposedly her glasses fell out the ceiling that she lost.
So what do you think of that?
I'm not sure if it's manifestation or dimension. I'm really honestly not sure, because if it's manifestation, well, I would like more money.
well, that's I don't know. I don't know.
I'm saying if you're going to manifest something.
I wouldn't stop at sunglasses.
I mean, honestly. Yeah, it's great to miss something, but I did have something weird, something to that effect happen, and I don't know if it's because of what happened that day. But I've had a few odd things happen. Just I was at work, and then as I left work, I noticed I was missing one of my keys, and I was just like, I lost another one. Man, can't find it. Well, I get home and and I take my hoodie off, and for some inexplicable reason, it fell out of my hoodie. Don't know how the key got there.
Wow.
So that's kind of a dimensional flip.
Yeah, just a few weird things like that happening.
Yeah. Did you the first sightings you had, was it the dog man? Or was
Who,
that
for me?
later on? No, Celeste.
I have never seen a dog man.
Okay, all right.
I've
I got that
Bigfoot.
confused.
Well, I have seen the prints
She's heard them.
and I've heard him, but I've never seen him. I've
Okay.
never laid eyes on him.
And then, so your keys moved,
Fell out of my hoodie.
and your what?
It fell out. I was wearing a hoodie, and it fell
and
out.
you were in your hoodie. Okay.
Yeah.
How did they get in your hoodie? You know?
Not where I had him.
What do y'all think of the Bigfoot being other dimensional type character?
I'll tell you what, Kelsey, I think that with the Bigfoot, almost anything's possible. We have seen so many weird things. This past week, I've been investigating a spot, an area, took pictures. Well, at first, I started seeing a lot of bow trees, things like that. Then I started seeing some X markers, and heard quite a few tree knocks and what have you. Well, there's one spot that every now and then I tell you right now, I took a pee at. And anyway, I went to this spot, and because I hike this almost every day, and I went to this spot, and there was a phone there, and I'm thinking, where the hell that come from, So anyway, I went ahead and I had some breath mints. I went ahead and put them out there, like a gift, and I come back, and the breath mints were gone. So I went ahead and took the phone, and so I'm thinking they were gifting me. But anyway, I seen these X markers. So I went ahead and took some pictures of the X markers, and no matter what I did, it just would not take a picture. It wouldn't focus. And I got a pretty good camera. I got 21 megapixels and all this sort of business, and everything else that I took a picture of that day showed up. I took 5 pictures of the X mark, and none of them would. And I went ahead and posted those pics.
Where were the X marks? What were they on? What?
Oh, they were.
No, it was trees.
Trees that
trees put it.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
Right.
I understand.
And no matter what I did,
standing there. You're standing
Right.
there looking at this, but you can't take a picture of a clear picture.
Yeah. I mean, my camera said it was focused. I went ahead and took the photo, and each one was out of focus. And even though everything else around it was in crystal clear, and anyway, as I walked away, then I heard 3 more tree knocks. So the thing is, I'm really not. We were really not sure if they can time travel or.
Did you just hear that?
Yeah, I know. Interdimensional travel or anything like that, really, because
just a short time we've been talking, you got pitch black behind you.
Yeah. It's we actually had a red light that we use so that we can keep our night vision.
Mm-hmm.
And I charged it and it's dead.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So
So
are y'all primitive camping? Or are you at a campground? Or
Well, right now we're at a public campground because,
okay,
oddly enough, they will not let anybody camp inside the forest now.
nope,
not okay.
And
I thought that in a national forest you could.
they're not letting it.
they're not letting.
They run you off.
Yeah,
Really?
they won't let us now. No, they won't.
But couldn't you used to do that
We
recently?
used to be able to, yeah, and you know, but this particular one, no, they won't let you. You know, so
I mean,
we've had to camp at a public campground.
But I mean, we're not too worried right now. We have Ari with us, so he'll let us know if anything's in the vicinity.
so yeah, I imagine this is a Tuesday night, and this time of year, you're probably not hardly anybody out there with you.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there's quite a few.
Oh, is there really?
But well, there's more than you think there would be.
I don't know. I mean, you guys aren't picking this up.
No, I can't hear any background.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, yeah.
I'd have to go back, maybe hook my headphones up and listen more carefully.
Yeah, we've been hearing some tree knocks and some howls.
That was like a scream.
Yeah,
That was definitely like,
but see
So-
this area right here is just that's a great area.
So,
Or, you know.
does the average person that's out there camping like you, do they just kind of ignore and not pay attention to that kind of stuff?
I don't think that they.
well, Don's actually had someone contact him, which we put it on our list, where they kind of train for some long distance running.
Uh huh.
They have found very large tracks. So it's kind of on our list right now, priority to go there.
So that's a different spot than where you
That's
are.
a different location.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely,
Yeah.
and that's the thing is, people are.
Well, I've actually known that guy for a while too.
Mhm.
The guy that's he's a what do you call wilderness runner or whatever, and he's been finding some things and me and her's been there before. We found a few tracks and some structures and what have you. But he said it's really heating up right now, so we're going to go back and see what we can find.
So, are you guys spending a night or two there investigating? What's
Yeah,
your
we're going to be
plan?
out here tomorrow night too. We're going to be here all through tomorrow and tomorrow night.
So you
There-
got your
there
gear
are-
with
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are other campers here,
Not very many.
but they're pretty quiet.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
right
my
over.
God.
Did you hear that?
Yes. Did y'all hear that?
That was a
No,
loud,
I-
long scream.
A scream.
Really?
Yes.
Are y'all sure
Oh
are
yeah.
y'all safe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a murder side, is it?
No. This is not.
Him, Kentucky,
this is-
sometimes.
did Jeffrey Dahmer come back from the dead?
No. This was boy, that was the best one. Yeah, wasn't
Yeah, that was long and loud.
it? Yeah.
But see,
Ah.
we have my German Shepherd's here at my feet, so I'd like to see anything really get through him.
Well, the
And we're
quality
on
of my audio, where we're at, and on this computer, this laptop, the quality of the audio is not the best. But one of our watchers there said, like a kid, I hear like a kid.
Yeah, it's high pitch. Here, it's still going on. If we maybe take a few seconds and we're all quiet.
Yeah.
I hear the crickets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's bouncing off because we're like by a ridge, so it could be bouncing off the ridge,
Yeah.
and that's why it sounds like it's over there. But
Yeah. We've heard some awesome tree knocks too.
But no one's the other people are down further. They're probably 1, 2, 3 camp. I don't know, 3 campsites down, and the other one is over on the other side, and
The bridge
they're
flag.
not there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's faint. That's why I think it's an echo.
So yeah, anybody watching here, if y'all got any questions you'd like to ask these guys, just type them in there. We'll relay it and we'll continue our discussion. Kevin, you said you had a couple of questions.
Yeah, I thought of one earlier as I was thinking about this coming up. One of the Bigfoot or alleged Yeti happenings that's most fascinated me, and there's been a few that fascinated me, was the one way back in the 50s, the Detloff Pass incident in Russia.
Dyatlov, yeah.
The hikers that went up there, of course, one came back halfway there. I think he was sick or something, and the rest went on, and they wound up all dying. And their bodies were mauled in such a way that, and then the locals there were talking about, they call it a mink instead of a Yeti. And they believe that was what attacked the hitchhikers, because one of them had the tongue ripped out, the other one chest was caved in like something really strong had to have pounded it. And the real kicker was on their camera. The last photos, one of them looks like they're running, but the last photo, it's like one of them looked back and snapped a shot of this large black figure coming out of the trees.
Well, the interesting thing about that case is Russia actually reopened that case recently. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yes, I did.
And that particular picture now, if you remember this is, I don't know what's going on, if it's a time rift or whatever, but if you look at the old picture of that when it first was publicized, it definitely looks like a large, hairy person. The new picture, or the same picture, however you want to interpret that, looks like a man in a snowsuit.
Yeah, somebody brought that. I know Josh Gates tried to say that, and I thought,
yeah, but that's not what the original picture was. In the original documentary about the Dyatlov Pass, that is not what the picture was. Yeah. So, and and I love Josh Gates. I watch all his shows. I do. I admit it. But I think he's also owned by the establishment.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. I've met him, and he's a nice guy. But sometimes he's real quick to pass something off, and it's like you can't just throw it out the window because you think it's something. Therefore, it's
But I think he's, like I said, in things we've learned in recent days, I think he's owned by the establishment. So he puts forth, because a lot of things he say are inaccurate. Biblical things he brings up, there's inaccuracies in them and stuff like that. And I think he's just kind of getting paid to be inaccurate and not tell the truth, even though that was one of his shows, was Destination Truth. Well,
a lot of things is just disinformation, like a lot of the a lot of the cryptid shows, and a lot of the just like I was telling you about the dog man. I mean, it's just
I was wondering if y'all thought though that could have been a cryptid that caused that. What's your thought on that is?
Oh, cryptid.
They're trying to say now it's a type of avalanche that did this. I don't know that an avalanche would pull out your tongue. I don't know that an avalanche would pluck out your eyes, or was it somebody in a tree?
Well,
was it
where they were up there? I don't remember the details at this point, but I know when I did learn the details,
the injuries were consistent with like being flung against a tree. It was like the guy was flung against a tree or something.
The way they left the tent and all that.
Which that
but another interesting thing. About that is given where they were. I'm sorry.
Right. They didn't even hook up the stove or something like that, and they took all their cold weather gear off or some weird thing. I mean,
and it's not like you were in the woods and there's a lot of wildlife to attack your body.
No, but they were probably, I guess there's also conspiracy theories that they were on some military mission. Jeez. And
y'all are getting talked to or paid with quite a bit, huh?
It's just, sometimes it's mind-boggling. sometimes you won't find any evidence, and then all of a sudden they start talking to you and screaming at you. And
So how long
Yeah,
have you
it's-
guys known about this spot?
But what,
a couple
How
years,
long
couple of years, yeah.
oh, 3 years.
So when you're not doing this live stream with us here, you're in full mode of research and gathering information. Do you stay up late in the night, or do you lay there half awake and wait for something, or how do you go about this?
Usually well, in some areas they've come right up to our tent.
They what?
We were,
Some areas they've come right up to our tent.
Well, I know you told me that. Yeah.
we were listening to a tape player that we had taken
We did a digital recording some years ago.
several years ago at this one great place. And anyway, it had been sleeting and snowing and just the worst weather you can imagine, and freezing rain and everything. And we took this tape player and put it underneath. I went on top of the tire.
We put it on top of my tire in the wheel well.
Yeah. And anyway, you can actually hear the Bigfoot slushing through the water and grunting and growling and all kinds of damn stuff outside the tent.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's just
So that doesn't shake you guys up. That doesn't instill a certain amount of fear in you. It doesn't make you paranoid.
no. What? I mean,
Well, it's not that we don't have fear, because there is a healthy,
respect.
like we told you about the cookies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they come in and take what they want. You're not going to stop them. You know, you just
You're not going to stop them, or you're not going to try to stop them.
well, I'm not either at this point. But I mean, when our very first time researching together, we had like a little tent that had food in it,
Mm-hmm.
and
They actually went to the tent.
they unzipped the tent
and got food out.
and got the food out.
And we took pictures of the tracks that they made going to the tent.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And they actually had a deer drive going on that night.
Yeah.
We heard the deer drive. We heard them kill a coyote.
Oh, that was the scariest sound I think I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Was the coyotes, the sound they were making being killed, and the Bigfoot screaming. Or howl.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't even say it's screaming. It's a roar. It was a roar, but it was a couple different roars. You can tell there was a couple different ones, and the coyotes were just screaming.
But they'll kill a coyote in a heartbeat.
So after all the time you guys have spent in this pursuit, you still would be, it sounds like, a little bit short of trying to really explain Bigfoot as to what he's all about.
We believe it's a human being.
It's an indigenous type of human being.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's been here
Okay.
for thousands of years, just like basically we have. And I tell you, it's just a giant human, hairy giant human. And we
Now,
believe
there's
that a lot of do what now?
There's at least one YouTube channel, a guy that claims that he talks to Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
And
That would be
that
nice.
Bigfoot in the recordings talks back to him. What do you think of that?
You know what? I wasn't there, so I really, can't pass judgment on that. But the thing is, though, a Bigfoot can pronounce one syllable words.
Okay, so there you go.
That is what we do know.
We do know that. I've had my name called out. Members of my team, and members of my team have had their name called out.
But they're not going to call out
Tim.
Celeste because they can't pronounce Celeste.
No,
That might call me something else.
I hope it
Right.
doesn't begin with a B.
Oh, that's okay. Like babe, maybe baby.
that's two syllables.
Oh,
But,
babe.
Babe,
But
yeah. Mm.
they can pronounce one syllable words, and we know
So
that for a
so
fact.
you've had that happen. You've
Oh
experienced
yeah,
that.
yeah, and it's really creepy with the first time because
Yeah.
I think what they do is they hear people talking and they pick up that, hey, that must be this guy's name, and next thing you're pitching your tent and you hear you hear you hear your name in the woods back there.
Well,
From
and they,
wood.
yeah, and they have different tones too, because in recent weeks I've heard like chattering, like chittering,
Yeah, they have.
like like a
So
chatter.
what how do they communicate with each other?
I think it's through that chatter.
Yeah, they got some kind of language going there.
And I
It's,
don't even know that they actually need to vocalize too much,
I think a lot of
because,
it's probably through their mind. I think.
or yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
so
they kind of
you
almost,
would even though you say that they are what you say human, right?
Hmm.
Would you say they're a supernatural human?
Oh yeah, there's something going on with them that is just. I mean, just it
the cloaking is what gets me. I
it
mean,
just blows your mind.
we know that, certain animals can change their color, snakes,
Mm,
frogs,
like a chameleon?
amphibians,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And and the Indians have, and you always hear the Native American tales of, or people say about Native Americans where they're walking, then all of a sudden the person's gone. You know, so where did they learn this from?
Right.
So
Anybody that
You know how like in movies, they'll be walking with somebody and then that person's gone and they're like, oh,
yeah
they walked off into the woods,
right
or you're led to believe they just silently walked off somewhere. If you're an apex predator, that is a good thing to learn, because you can sneak up on your prey, or you can use it in a defense if you need to get away, like human beings who are, Homo sapiens, who are searching for them and
any
trying to take their picture.
anybody that says that that Bigfoot can't cloak and this, that, and the other thing
Thank you.
appear and reappear.
I was saying thank you.
Oh,
I'm sorry, this person.
and
so
they
this
haven't
is
done a
my
whole lot
friend.
of Bigfoot research
Okay,
because if you're
this
out
is
there in
my
the field, you
friend.
do.
Yeah, I just
Go
want to
ahead.
say that's my friend
Oh, okay.
Brandon Moore that follows you
Oh,
guys out
yeah.
of Blount
Right,
County,
right.
Alabama.
Yeah. He's one on. Yeah, he's a member of one of my pages, I believe.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you hear all this stuff. Well, they're crazy. They think this thing's cloaking. They think this thing's appearing and reappearing and things like. The only thing I could say is they haven't been in the field very
Right.
much.
All we can speak is for the experiences we've had.
We don't look. The only thing that we post is what we experienced and what we've witnessed.
Yeah.
And people can disagree or whatever they want to do, and that's fine. Everybody has a right to an opinion. But the thing is, though, is that we have seen some, and we have seen some just things that would blow your mind, literally blow your mind. And
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Like I said, I've never had a Bigfoot experience. I've had other kind of supernatural experiences in my life. I don't have answers because I haven't really taken the time outside of talking to people. I haven't been out in the field and really tried to
right.
pursue like you guys and other people do. Now, Don, you're retired, so you got a lot of time to devote to this.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm
Celeste,
full time.
You're full time. Celeste, you're still working.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you're out there sometimes, of course, then by yourself.
Yeah. Sometimes, not very often.
Yeah. You got other people you can run with when she's at work.
Well, me and her exclusively, Bigfoot together. When I'm by myself, I'm by myself.
I got you. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So what any new happenings in your end of this thing, Don? Any new experiences or even old experiences you want to share?
Well, just last week we run across a a structure. Well, it's going to be a Bigfoot structure because we know by,
Oh yeah.
by previous experience what they do. You know, a lot of times, in fact, most times, what Bigfoot will do is they will begin the structure on top. And what they'll do is they'll either push a tree over or they'll find a tree that's already fallen down. And what they'll do is they'll start, for whatever reason, they'll start laying, branches and stuff on top of the down tree.
Hmm.
And so we found one of them the other day, and found quite a few bow trees, and we heard we sure it was a Bigfoot going through the woods, and we
Yeah, there
heard
was something walking through the woods. It was
Yeah.
kind of
big and heavy.
big and heavy. And then we heard
Yeah,
So
tree
what
knock.
what do
tree knocks.
What's that?
what do you think will happen? I mean, we
Whistle.
keep encroaching on all forms of wildlife. We keep building subdivisions and so forth, and our population still keeps growing. Um, what do you think will happen as we continue to encroach on all these areas? Are they to be restricted to national forest, or
They'll
will we
encroach
bump
back.
into
Well,
more?
we believe this from our experience, okay, that they have actually migrated into parks inside the city.
Now, when
And
you say they, who is they?
Bigfoot, Dogman,
Well, there's never
Okay,
just one.
okay.
yeah.
So
And that's why
they move in herds or in groups or
families.
family.
Yeah, they have family groups.
I mean, just like you have family,
I don't
They
anymore.
I'm sorry.
No,
They stay together in family groups.
Yeah.
We were in a place and John forget it. I was going to talk about something a long time ago, but I was not going
You
to.
don't want to talk about it?
okay.
No, I gotta wait. I gotta get permission to tell that story.
Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, change the names.
And that was my plan.
Little too late, you let it slip, huh?
Most times when Bigfoot travel, they never travel by themselves anyway. 9 times out of 10, there's more than one.
I've
And
heard. Okay, here we go.
we think that
I didn't see that one.
I didn't see
Oh.
that one.
I think Kevin and I both shot it up there at the same time.
I'm not touching.
Oh, that
Okay.
must have been Catherine then.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Urban
Don told-
Bigfoot.
yeah, and to this point right here, the phone that was gifted to Don on the rock. Well, it was on a rock. He actually has a picture of it, and he'll probably share that. It's a phone. It's not a cell phone. It's a phone that you use inside your house. It's a cordless phone
Hmm.
That he found on a rock.
that was
Right.
gifted to him. So this tells me that this particular band of Bigfoots are in urban areas. Probably somebody left their phone on their porch or their deck or something, or their patio. It pilfered it, had it for a while. It's in pristine condition. There's nothing wrong with this phone.
What? It wasn't weathered out. You could tell it hadn't
Nope.
been outside.
No.
The
Huh.
thing is, I had just been
That's
there and took a leak. Okay,
How
and then I
far?
came back a half hour later, and it was there. Okay,
So it wasn't there.
How far away from people's houses were you? How far out were you?
we can't divulge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to really be careful about what we do, what we say,
Because of what we recently went through, we have to be very careful.
yeah, there's been a lot of
And that's why I'm trying to be so careful about not saying.
because see the thing is there's a lot of Well, the government they don't want the Bigfoot around. I'm convinced. We are convinced of that.
They don't
And
want the Bigfoot around. I'm
no,
sorry. I missed part of that.
well, the government don't want the Bigfoot around. I think they're trying to either
Under
get,
the guise of saying they're protecting them, they're not.
yeah,
Okay, so they're trying to eliminate them.
Yes.
right.
It's because he didn't pay his taxes, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, they got 86,000 people going to take care of that pretty soon.
They don't like nomads.
But but anyway, the thing is that the more we get into this,
What is that?
I know it. The more we get into this, and the more we get into this, we realize
Ari's moved out.
that we have made some very powerful enemies. Okay,
You're good, Ari. It's good.
and
You're okay.
we really got to be careful about where we say we're at, where we're going, and things like that. Okay.
So I wouldn't ask you that specific, detail. But have you got some activity going on there behind you now, Celeste?
Well, my dog just got alerted. Ari just was alerted.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna let Don talk to you. I'm just gonna check on Ari.
But anyway, the thing is this, is that, there's a lot of things about the Bigfoot that we're finding out that they can do, but we don't know how the hell they do it. And
Yeah.
I'm sure the government would love to know how these things cloak.
Yeah, he's staring off into the woods.
And what have you, for obvious reasons, for military reasons, things like that. But the thing is, though, is that there's just so many things that we've witnessed and seen. And the thing is, too, is we know where a lot of these habitat areas are. And what?
He's like,
I know it. Ari is really alerted. He's looking towards the forest right now. He's really getting agitated.
Something's tuned in.
Yeah, something's going on. Because he's been great. He's been good all day. But the thing is like the Bigfoot is something that is truly a supernatural phenomenon. And I know he can see what we can't see. He can smell what we can't smell. They can hear what we can't hear. And they get my utmost respect. But like I said, we have followed track lines and had them totally disappear. I mean, just totally disappear. And they're just incredible. But again, like I say, there's so much money that's been made off of them, as far as the big monkey theory. And I mean, think about all the books and the DVDs, the TV soap operas, all the nonsense you see on TV. That tens of hundreds of millions of dollars have been made off the Bigfoot being a big monkey. Okay,
Right.
You got pseudo scientists, these quacks, been saying this for years, and just if he's still going kind of crazy, but the thing is, though, and then on the other hand, I think you have an element like in the government itself that I think they want to study them like maybe in a lab, but I think the government's afraid of them. I really do. I really think the government's afraid of them because they don't understand.
A theory kind of evolves in my mind a little bit here. Kevin disappeared for a second.
Yeah.
So a theory so if you look at our species compared to Bigfoot, even though he called him human, I would separate him as species. Is that fair? Bigfoot seems to have all this going on, but they're not raping the planet like we are.
True.
They're not digging into the earth and manipulating it and creating technology and paving roads and all that. They're not building. They're living at nature. They're living on nature, with nature. basically, I would say, in harmony with our planet.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but that doesn't, would it be safe to say then that because they're so tuned in, just say to the universe, that they were able to hone in on these abilities that you got activity going on?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. This is great. I love this area.
So what are you hearing? What?
Well, that sounded like a tree being pushed down.
Yeah.
It sounded like a
See, we are still in the park, but we're not. We're not inside the forest.
I got
And what's so great about this forest is that there's not hardly any roads going through this forest. You only have hiking trails that go through this forest, and which is just great. So if you was to be able to hike through and primitive camp, it would be even better. But see, the thing is that, and of course, we know of another park. I don't know if we told you about that. They literally, I know, did you hear that? Yeah. But the thing is, though, is that they literally cut down the trees on the hillside to keep people to keep the Bigfoot from using the cover. And it just gets crazier and crazier. And of course, they tear down the structures and everything else. But it's just it's something else.
I used to hear that tree falling over noise behind my old house over there, where I had kind of an encounter with something I couldn't see in the dark that was staring at me, breathing.
I remember you telling us about that.
I used to hear that kind of off in there, sound like a tree crashing over, and I was like, "What the crap?" We had a lot of woods behind my house there.
And I don't know what I mean, I think maybe it's just display of strength.
Right.
Is there any evidence of any of them using caves?
Oh man.
Yes.
Yeah, a whole lot.
Okay, I've never heard of that. Yeah,
absolutely.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah. Well, we have found a lot of caves in most areas that we have found the habitat areas. We have found caves. Now, like I said earlier, in one of our podcasts we had with y'all, like the Green River area runs like 680 some odd miles through Kentucky.
Right.
And I mean, there's just, it is a Bigfoot highway, literally. I mean, it's just, probably more Bigfoots per square mile than anywhere in the country. And of course, it's just caves everywhere, and most of the caves are on private property. So I mean, it's just incredible. And plus, the area where we're at now, Celeste and I found a whole bunch of caves over the past couple of months in this area. So yeah, I mean,
and we plan on going back to investigate once before the leaves fall off the trees and whatnot, because it was just so dense. So dense that we couldn't really get close to them. And we're not going to go in caves. I'm not a caver. There's things I'm not going to do, and that's one of them. But I will investigate the surrounding area to see if I can find tracks, tree markers, X markers,
right?
Structures, that type of thing. And,
so Kevin, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Kevin, your brother,
Uh-huh.
in caves and his activities, has he ever run across anything unexplainable?
No, not that he's ever told me about. He said that there are a couple of caves he's been in that were said to be haunted, but he's never talked about it. And definitely nothing about, Bigfoot or cryptid or anything. He's not said anything.
Right.
Doesn't mean they're not there. He just didn't see them.
Right.
Well, I've never even thought about that before, but I just Googled on my phone here, and all kind of stuff popped up about Bigfoot and caves.
Yeah, some of that about the mink when we were talking about in Russia, they found in caves there some nests that look very unusual, not like your average bear, or anything
Well,
like that.
Here's an interesting one here about a cave drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Native American Sasquatch drawn in a cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I've heard about the drawings of Native Americans.
Now, here's a couple that say that they had a run-in with a Bigfoot at Mammoth Caves.
Right. We have been to Mammoth
We've
Cave
been to
several
Mammoth
times.
Caves quite a few
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, and I photographed a lot of evidence in Mammoth Cave, and photographed all kinds of tracks, structures, a lot of growls out there, a lot of howls, a lot of tree knocks out there at Mammoth Cave. What have you? Again, Mammoth Cave, is part of the Green River system.
Sure.
I have a question.
That was
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get in here. Okay. All right.
that's okay.
So recently, Bigfoot's been a big thing. How long have people been searching for Bigfoot? Like, when did this start?
I think about 60, 70 years ago, maybe, right around in there.
Well, I don't know. As far as actively going out and searching, it's probably more recent years, but people have had run-ins with them
For
since
a long time.
since the founding of, since they landed here, because the indigenous people that lived here, the Native Americans, told stories about them. And there's stories going back to tribal, there's totem poles with Bigfoots on them in some areas. So it's not so much, but the actively searching, like researching, that's probably more in recent years. You have the Patterson-Gimlin video, which they were searching for him, and that's
Back 67, 66, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you believe that the indigenous people had a relationship with the Bigfoot?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
There's one tribe that actually tells the story that they followed Sasquatch to a better hunting ground because the tribe was starving. And then, what's that town off Alaska? Portmouth?
Yeah.
Portmouth?
I think so.
Where they actually got run out of town. The whole city's gone. The whole town's gone. The whole town is completely gone because they were run off by Sasquatch.
And you said that's in Alaska?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Portmouth, I think.
I was up in Alaska back in, I think it was 2000, early
Hello,
2000.
Janelle.
And I do remember seeing a few totem poles with Bigfoot on them.
Yeah. And there's stories of Bigfoot that actually would cover themselves in mud and make the mud really thick so that the Indians' arrowheads wouldn't go through it. They would use like mud like armor.
That's an interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. And that goes back to Native American.
I remember being a kid and I lived in Shelby County and we had rabbits, lots of rabbits. And they were in cages, my parents raised rabbits and they were meat rabbits. And we as kids would have to go to the very back of the yard, and it was a good couple of acres back in almost at the wood line. And I remember being so scared going out there because I always felt like something was watching me.
Mm-hmm.
And
pay attention to that.
And I always felt like something was watching me. We had a trampoline back there, and there was a creek running beside the property. And I remember jumping on the trampoline and getting startled because I felt like something was watching me right in our neighborhood.
Pay attention to what you feel,
And definitely, if you feel like something's watching you, 99% of the time, something is. Your hair will stand up on end, and you know,
Kind of like ghosts.
Yes, yes. We had a bear at one point in time back in the 80s in our neighborhood, Kevin. And I was always scared it was the bear, but kind of wondering if it wasn't something else.
Right.
well, if there's a Sasquatch around, you don't, or a Bigfoot, you don't need to worry about bear.
Well, the bear wound up being killed. Some idiot killed it, shot him.
Yeah.
Poor bear. But
Well, the thing is the Bigfoot. There's so many things about the Bigfoot. I tell you the honest truth. I really believe that the Bigfoot could. We know of neighborhoods where the Bigfoot has been through,
Yeah.
and neighborhoods. I think that they can go. That they can literally cloak and be invisible and everything else. That might sound crazy to people, but we don't really care, do we? We're the ones that's out there.
they have to be able to. They have to be able to for us to not be able to see them,
Mhm.
and they're able
Right.
to.
We had,
Like
I think I told you the story before where I was looking down a ravine and there's a stump next to a tree. Well, the stump's probably like, I don't know, 4 feet high, 4 or 5 feet high.
About 5 feet.
Yeah. And I was looking at it and it looked odd to me. And so I stared at it for a while and I could have sworn I saw just like ever so slightly, it turned its head to look at me up while I'm up the hill looking down at it. And I called Don over. I said, there's whatever that is down there just looked at me.
Right.
I said, are you sure that's not a Bigfoot? And he goes, no, that's a stump. That's a stump. But he took a picture of it anyway because it looked odd to me and I could have sworn I saw it move. So we go back a few months later.
I know it was a few days later.
Well, it was more than like a week. It was like
a couple of weeks maybe.
Well, because it was another month.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It was
right.
like another
Right.
like month and a half. And we went back there. There's no stump.
None.
Stump's gone.
So I go back over the pictures and the stump's got a brow.
Got a,
It's got
we blew up the picture after that.
It's got a nose, a chin, things like that.
But it stayed so perfectly still. It just turned its head ever so slightly to look up at me.
Yeah.
And that's how I noticed the movement.
Yeah.
And the stump's gone. So they can camouflage themselves pretty well.
And if they the way they're they could literally just kind of just kneel down and be still or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe even stand there and be still in the woods and you probably couldn't see them. There's no telling how many times before I even knew about Bigfoot that I probably walked right by one. Because I had been seeing structures and didn't know why anybody would build something like that anywhere. And it wasn't until I actually seen them that I realized that they were Bigfoot.
Think of how common snakes are in the woods. Think about that.
Yeah.
True.
How many times do you walk through the woods and not see a snake?
Right.
Or a frog or a squirrel? I mean, those are common animals that are a multitude. I know they're smaller, but still the point is they're camouflaged and we were walking through a swamp and Brandon from Blount County Bigfoot Research, his twin girls spotted a snake.
We didn't.
Yeah.
But we didn't see it. I mean, we walked right by it, but they spotted it.
Yeah, I got a brother that's a herpetologist, and I've gone out with him and collected like rattlesnakes and copperheads and all kinds of things, and copperheads really blend in, with the ground and what have you.
So, but Bigfoot blends in too.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, right.
Look, it's Bigfoot blending in back there. Oh, that's Kelsey.
That's Kelsey on the other side. We swap sides. Think about the what were those apes called that is it mountain gorillas?
The mountain gorillas were not
Yeah.
discovered until like 1905.
So I mean, there's still a possibility that there could be a big discovery of and pictures out there.
Well, I want to add this to the equation of this conversation, if I could. Where are you going?
I'm going to grab my drink.
I don't know if it's such a great idea for us to find them. There was a good population, talking about the mountain gorilla, which I've kind of studied, and I love the gorillas. But anyway, bottom line is that all of a sudden we discovered the mountain gorillas, and now we've reduced the population of them so dramatically.
Yep.
You know, and that kind of, and I think there is fear by some in the Bigfoot community of that happening. I think that what you guys are doing is great, but I think what's equally great about what you're doing is you're kind of keeping you're keeping at least the locations very secret.
Yeah, we've learned that lesson.
Yeah, we're trying to, and it's just, but it's hard to do, and it's.
But Bigfoot's not isolated to one part of the country.
No, not at all, and there's a whole lot more Bigfoot than people think there are.
Kevin had one in his backyard.
Probably.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah. More than likely. I mean,
talking about this cloaking thing, I'm going to have a whole new perspective when I've seen some of these videos out there, unexplained, where people are standing somewhere or sitting, and it's like something suddenly grabs them and throws them, something invisible. I'm going to start wondering now, was that Bigfoot instead of a ghost?
well, see, I'm not quite to the point where I think they're invisible. I think they're really good at cloaking and hiding themselves in natural situations.
Yeah, like chameleon or something.
Right, exactly. I'm not sure about the other thing, but who knows? I mean, I never thought I'd flip dimensions, so, you know, I just, you know, maybe we never came back to the right one. I don't know.
I think that Don knows a lot more about the fifth dimension than he wants to talk about.
I don't want to go there again.
Either he went or we went, but you know, I'll never.
Have y'all ever been to Arkansas to look for the Fount monster?
No.
No.
How do you spell that?
No. Basically, we stick to areas we know. I'm not going to go chasing stories. You know what I mean?
You're finding your own stories.
Right.
What
exactly.
we do is we investigate. We get all kinds of sources, and because you know, it's just we can't chase every story out there. You know what I'm saying?
And our desire isn't to go prove somebody's story true. We want to go prove that they're in a particular area, and you know, I started doing this for myself. You know, I started doing the investigations and looking for weird things in the woods and different things in the woods that can't be explained for myself, for my own sanity, because, you know, apparently as a child, I was obsessed with Bigfoot because I thought I saw one. You know,
you were doing this before you met Don.
Yes.
For years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dragged my kids out in the woods. They weren't very happy about it, but you know.
So, where are your kids now? Are they still Bigfooting, or are they still running from you?
They're just running from me.
Now, you're not into ghosts and whatnot. You don't care anything about talking about that, but you don't mind a tree touching you upon request.
Because a tree is a living being, and I can put my hand on it.
A ghost is a living being, just on a different plane.
Oh, well, it was.
Oh my God!
That
made me jump.
Uh-oh.
What happened there?
Well, see, we're in one of the biggest. We're gonna tell you something. We're in one of the best Bigfoot habitat areas that you could probably find anywhere. And it's just it's a shame that we can't get up there where we need to be. And
Which we don't go out in the night. We don't go out when it's dark.
yeah, we just camp.
They just seem to come to us.
Yeah.
And I think
Okay,
they
so
like it that way.
nighttime, you just act like regular campers, and you crawl in your tent or whatever, and you shut down, and they come to you.
Yeah, that's what we do anyway. We don't holler or yell or scream or hit trees and all that crap. And you know, if you
but we get a lot of action.
If you want to learn how not to Bigfoot, watch TV. Okay. And that's just the way it is. And you know,
it was like they're moving logs or something.
Yeah, they are moving. They're moving pretty good. But the thing is, though, is that we have what when we go into the woods, we just act like regular backpackers, campers, whatever, you know.
But we take pictures of the things that stand out in the woods that other people, to us, stand out, but to other people overlook.
Yeah, there's a lot of subtle things out there that people just don't look. You know, just like, for instance, the dog man. The dog man gnaws on trees.
Supposedly.
Well, we know because I got pictures of it.
Okay.
But the thing is this. The thing is this, is that people, you know, they had no idea that dog man did that, you know. And, you know, and they build hunting blinds. They do all kinds of things. So, I mean, it's just, you know, there's just a lot of things that people just don't look for, you know. And, you know, the subtle things, you know, just like I said, like push down trees, like a lot of times the Bigfoot will start from the top down to build, you know, to construct, you know, like when they build a structure, you know, that type of thing. But
have y'all been down here to Alabama yet to look around these forests?
We might like to go down there. To
Brandon is watching Blount County Bigfoot. My friend Brandon. Right. Where would you, if you were to tell Celeste and Don what area in Alabama you would consider a hot spot, and it'll take them a minute to respond because there's a delay here.
Well, he did in his last one of his comments. He said the Bankhead National Forest is a hot spot.
Yeah, that he lives not too far from Bankhead.
Yeah, in that comment, he mentioned the Bankhead National Forest.
There you go. So now, when Brandon goes out, Blount County, y'all are laughing. What's going on?
Don't say it out loud.
Don't say it. You got activity?
It'll be deforest really quick.
It'll be what?
Deforested.
Oh.
The government will tear up in there. And
well, when Brandon goes out, he goes out alone, I understand, most of the time, and he goes out in very primitive areas, and he still has been known to kind of throw a sleeping bag down in places that is not a campground.
Did I just hear a growl come through?
I don't know what that was. It wasn't on our end.
Oh, okay.
Here's what Brandon said to that. Any national forest but Bankhead National Forest. Okay.
Well, no, it was. Oh, yeah. He's trying.
There you go.
Yeah, I've heard.
Don't go there.
Yeah, the best place in Alabama to find Bigfoot is downtown Huntsville.
There you go. That's where I'm going.
He's been, he's been spotted up there on the Vulcan on Red Mountain.
Then down in Montgomery, it used to be known as Monkey Town. I think it was called Monkey Town because Bigfoot hung around there a lot.
He's got another comment there about
the White House. Let's say that Bigfoot's in the White House.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Ripe around that White House there.
That's right. he's been hitting the White House garden.
Yeah, there you go.
My big fear is if we
Bad Celeste. Bad Celeste.
If he like crosses across the news screen, they will go and shoot him and kill him.
Cross this what?
If Bigfoot flashes across the news screen, that they will go and shoot
Oh, the
and kill
news.
him.
News you're talking about?
Yes.
Media, yeah.
That's why he don't do that.
Well, you're
I've had people actually offer me money to lead them to Bigfoot, you know, so that they could kill him. And I had 3 different groups do that over the past several years.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, you got a lot of trash out there.
well, these
So,
TV shows, these so-called reality TV shows, I don't watch. I've turned them on a couple of times, and they're number one, they're highly edited for what they do, and it's sensational, if you know what I'm saying. And I've even seen it where they'll fly a drone over and spread some kind of something to make Bigfoot sneeze or something. I don't know. It's
all kinds of nonsense crap. I just, you know, you know, it insults your intelligence. So I mean, I just, you know, I'm not Einstein, right?
yeah.
But I'm too smart for any of that crap. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Well,
I mean,
It-
it's almost like some kind of cartoon or something, you know?
and
Well, there-
Kevin, I think will agree with me on this too. It's the same thing in the paranormal world and the ghost hunting. It's the same crap.
There's a ghost team that left their show behind because they got tired of the I don't know if I can say the channel sci-fi going in and making stuff. You're
Well,
trying to
you know,
open the
Yeah.
show up and they're trying to fake stuff, and they're like, "That's not what we do."
Well,
Right.
it's like that one guy, and I know you know who I'm talking about. The guy gets on there and he yells at the ghost and says, "Come on, push me,
Zach,
hit
Zach
me."
Bagan.
You
Zach
know,
Bagan. He's become a multi-millionaire for that craziness.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, you know, yeah, that's what these people.
If that's what you want.
I mean, if that's I mean,
If that's what people want to watch.
that's just crazy. I mean, I just
Yeah.
I was doing a ghost hunt with these guys in our graveyard a couple of weeks back. Can't remember when it was. And I started to see if the plants would answer me.
Seriously.
And the ghost or the plant did answer me. It
Yeah,
started moving.
Yeah, there was no. It was hot. There was no wind, no breeze, nothing. And right in front of the tombstone, this one weed plant started waving back and forth like this.
right. Yeah.
Plants
Yeah.
need attention too.
Yeah. Well, you're the expert on that. Touch my head, okay?
It licked me.
And Don's sitting there going, "All right."
I'm used to her. Well, sort of, maybe. I'm not really sure. Sometimes I think I'm used to her, and sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not so sure.
Yeah. I keep watching because it's so dark behind you guys. Is it that dark out there? Is no ambient light?
Oh yeah, it's dark.
Yeah,
was a
that's why we had planned on using the red light,
Yeah.
but the
Oh.
battery died.
So
And
Celeste
I
got on
charged it.
this red toboggan, okay, and I'm waiting for Bigfoot to snatch it off her head.
Well, I'm
just
waiting
down here
too.
to peer out of the shadow back there and lumber off.
Then I'll have a crazy German Shepherd chewing his ankles. I can't even get up and move, and he's like up and at attention.
Yeah, he's a good dog.
Your protector.
Yep.
Yeah, I love
We've actually
German.
we've actually had Ari out on several expeditions that he is literally my gosh, you talk about a dog that's alert. I mean, this dog is just I mean, before we even know anything's going to happen.
It's like precognitive.
Yeah, I mean, he knows.
So
He's
we got
actually
a
led us to
question.
structures and stuff.
Uh-oh.
We got a
Question.
question there, Don. Can you read that?
Yeah, in Meade County, there in Kentucky, several
We
years
had
ago.
orbs.
Yeah, and we've had orbs too. I guess we could say Tennessee. We had orbs in Tennessee not too long ago, and we also found a deer that had.
What part? What's the coordinates?
390 south of the.
But yeah, we that was the near the place that had the deer that was
Yeah, the fawn that was like kind of cut in half.
everything sucked out of it.
Yeah, no blood,
No nothing, and
no flies, no carrion were touching it. Nothing.
yeah, no vultures were touching. This place is full of vultures. Nothing was touching this deer.
We had actually these
what do you-
orbs were daylight orbs, so they were blue, orange, and yellow.
Yeah,
And we couldn't believe we got it. John, jeez, here I go again.
what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
But yeah, we couldn't believe we got them, and it was just I don't know if it was lucky or what. I don't know, but a lot of people claim that the Bigfoot. Yeah.
What do you think about these cattle mutilation things that happen?
Well, we think that deer. Well, there's more than just cattle being mutilated.
Right.
There's also big game animals like elk and of course like deer and things like that have been mutilated. And we think this deer we found was part of that. Yeah. There was no blood around this deer at all. There was no.
It was
Okay,
a fawn.
so what does the mutilation? What does this to these animals?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a $64,000 question.
So you don't think that's Bigfoot doing that?
No,
this has nothing to do with Bigfoot.
We don't think anyway. Yeah. So
now, what do you think about Skywalker Ranch?
I don't know. The jury's still out on all that. I don't know. I mean, see, the thing is, I'm like this. I know about our own research, and I know that I believe anything's possible from what I've seen, what Celeste has seen. The only thing I can say is I can vouch for what we've seen and heard and experienced. I can't really vouch for anybody else. They have. Right. I won't deny or criticize anybody else like that, but I just don't know. I mean, I know there's so many frauds out there and everything. I don't think they're frauds by any stretch of the imagination. I think they're finding some stuff out there. Oh. But the thing is, though, is that there are just so many. And I've run into people. I don't know. But the only thing we can do is do our own research.
The fawn is actually the first time we've ever seen anything like that.
Yeah.
I've never come across it. He's hunted. I've hunted. Been out in the woods. I have never come across anything like that.
This was really strange.
And that is the first time. So I don't know what that was. And as far as like, Skinwalker Ranch or anything like that, where they've had documented cases of cattle mutilation, I don't know that you can compare the two because I've never seen cattle mutilation up close. I mean, I've only seen it on TV.
There's a lot of those cases, not just at Skinwalker Ranch, but all across the
There's some in Colorado and other places.
And they show up in mainstream media, if you will. It's not just and I get what you're saying, Don. We live in an era where everybody wants to be a YouTube or TikTok star, and clearly it's easy to fake all kind of stuff now.
Right. But they'll know what we go by is like if a person isn't out there trying to make a buck, I'm more inclined to believe that person. You know what I'm saying? Than to believe somebody that's out here that's that's all about sales and pitching this and pitching that and all this crap and just You know,
I want to know what you think about
Now,
Dogman.
Brandon has asked another question there.
okay, let's see here.
Do you think Dogman or Bigfoot with snout?
No, I think Dogmen are separate from Bigfoot, and
You don't think
you
there's any
know,
relation whatsoever?
no. I think that they may be supernatural too, to tell you the truth. But the thing is, though, is that the thing that we found out about Dogmen is that I have not run across a Dogman that has been aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that there hasn't been an aggressive Dogman anywhere. But what I'm saying is this: over the past 5 years, that I've got into the Dogman, seen the Dogman, took pictures of the Dogman, okay? I have not ever been attacked. Nobody that I've ever known has been attacked. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know anybody that, I've posted several times on my Facebook page. Does anybody know anyone that's been killed personally by a Dogman?
Well, the same thing I ask about Bigfoot.
And they haven't. So I mean, it's just
Bigfoot's never hurt anybody.
I think a lot of this stuff is just so much crap to sell books and DVDs and make money at these conferences.
If there's never been a valid case of someone getting hurt or attacked by a Bigfoot, why is it these guys get on YouTube instead of approaching the Bigfoot, they run from it?
Well, I think people can possibly get hurt by a Bigfoot, but
it's okay when you are a 6-foot man standing there, even though you're armed, and this creature is 9+ feet tall.
Yeah.
What you're gonna run?
I'm gonna run to it because I'll be the one.
Well, the thing
is, it might rip my arms off, but I'll never have to work again.
See, even if you're armed, you're sit there because they look so much like a human. Okay, you're gonna sit there and think, can I shoot this person?
Okay, so you keep saying they look so much like a human. So the depictions I've seen of Bigfoot are not realistic because they make them look more, generally speaking, a little bit
because
less
the whole
human
thing is they want to add to their ape theory.
The thing, right?
Okay.
Look, there has been millions and millions of dollars made off Gigantopithecus crap. Okay, and the big great ape monkey, the big monkey theory, and all this ridiculous nonsense. They have made. What are they going to do if they come out and say like somebody? I hope that I am the one that proves that Bigfoot is a human. Okay, what are these people going to do? Everybody know that they were, frauds.
Well,
that they built their fortunes on crap.
Right.
Yep.
Well, it goes back to the Patterson film. That was that. I thought,
what do you think about the Patterson
film? Was fake or not, but
no, I don't think so.
Well, I'm like this. I wasn't there, so I don't know for sure. Yeah. But the thing is, though, is that the facial features, like if you ever see a Bigfoot, okay, a Bigfoot looks like a giant human being covered with hair that is massively, powerfully constructed, built. Okay, and the film isn't really clear and all that sort of business, but yeah, it could probably be a Bigfoot.
Well, and here's the thing: look at species of Homo sapiens. How many
races
look totally different?
Well, as you're talking about Bigfoot, I think of Andre the Giant.
Well, and
I mean, he wouldn't look like, none of us look like Andre the Giant, but he was still a human.
Right, exactly. And look at, you could tell some people where they're from by their features. and now we test DNA and that, you know, all this stuff. But it used to be you could just tell where people from just, you know, by their features. But
So
go ahead.
you think Bigfoot's smarter than we are?
Oh yeah,
I think that
yeah,
That's why he stays the hell away from
Well,
us.
that's
well,
right.
what
I think it
at
has
the
in
end of the day, Don, with everything that we know that's been put together and we know about Bigfoot, if you were to, I were to bring you and I say, I want you to give a lecture and I want you to tell us what we need to learn from Bigfoot. What should we learn from Bigfoot
I think that they
based
have
on
both.
what we know right now?
Well, I think that they have both intellect and instinct. Okay. I believe that they are the greatest wilderness survival experts on the planet. I believe that they have supernatural power that we can't even fathom. That's part of their reality. That's what they are. You
But
know,
what can we
I don't think
learn?
it's
What can
magic. I
we
just think it's
learn?
what they are.
Yeah, what can we learn from them? Everything that we know to date,
How to live in
not
harmony with
guesswork, but
nature.
everything. Okay. I mean, that's fair. That's what I want to know. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
what our species of human,
how to
if you
stop
will.
destroying everything we touch.
How to stop destroying
Oh,
everything we touch would be a good start.
I mean, I've
Yeah.
always made an example, and I agree with what you're saying, by the way. But you know, you go back to the story of the Tower of Babel in the Bible,
Hmm.
and I've always said, well, there's proof right there. We should not be building high rises.
Well,
We're
man
doing
wanted to
something
put
wrong.
themselves above God.
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
that's what we do. We keep reaching, and you know,
Hmm.
and everything. What we're dealing with here, your phone, the laptop, all this stuff around us, including our cars or your glasses, everything, we manipulated the earth.
Yeah. I
But
think that
in so doing, the problem we have is we're very good about manipulating our environment, but we suck at manipulating ourselves in a positive way.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I think that if I were to say, and I don't know as much about Bigfoot as you guys or Brandon or anybody else, but from what little I know, I would think that the big thing to learn is that to work on ourselves, we need to drop the peripheral and get down to the dirt, if you will, with nature and start living in harmony. That was a wonderful thing about the indigenous people anyway. Anytime they would cut a tree down, they would give thanks to the tree for sacrificing itself.
right.
Or plant another one.
Yeah.
You know.
And we've got Playful Rain just joined us.
Rain.
She's usually here. So living in harmony with the earth is a big thing.
Well, and caretaking the earth.
And
You know,
then on
take
the
care of it instead of destroy it.
and then on the supernatural level, do you think that if we got rid of all this ambient light and ambient energy, do you think that we could become more supernatural ourselves?
Well, I'm like this. I've been a hunter and a fisher all my life, and I've been, I'm pretty good at both. But you know what? Since I've been researching the Bigfoot and the Dog Man and these other cryptids, I'm finding out, man, I didn't know anything about about the outdoors like I thought I did. Like I said before, the people, they're born into this world, they live their whole life in this world, and they die, and they don't even know what kind of world they lived in, and they don't know what kind of creatures and beings lived in the world, you know. And and I feel like that this has been a real education for me over the past, well, now going on 20 years.
Well, what I think would happen is we would learn to live within. I don't know that we'd become more supernatural, but we would live in more harmony and within the confines of what we have before us. We'd learn to. I guess what I'm trying to say is We would learn to use what we have, not destroy what we have.
Well, then let me. Maybe I'm misusing the word supernatural. It may seem supernatural to us today, but if we were to be more in harmony with the earth and the universe, like we say Bigfoot is, or
Mhm.
Dogman, or whomever else, um, we may be missing out on something that we could be using right here within
I
ourselves.
think I think we don't pay enough attention to our sixth sense.
That's
Yeah, that's true.
basically what I'm
You
saying.
know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that modern people, modern man's kind of just threw away the sixth sense. And
Yeah.
you know what makes a successful hunter or fisherman is that you have a sixth sense. You have you of course you do your homework. You look for patterns and holding areas and travel corridors and things like that.
Mhm.
With whether you're hunting or fishing, right? But the thing is, though, is that it's your sixth sense, that you think, it's an educated guess. It's like, okay, I know there's going to be some fish there, or I know a big buck's coming my way through here.
Mhm.
You know, it's a sixth sense, you know.
I think your sixth sense is a lifesaver if
Well,
you tune
yeah,
into it.
yeah,
You know.
right. I know there's been a couple times in my life that I listened to my sixth sense, and that's the reason why I'm alive right now. So, I mean,
Yeah. Well,
and
you tie that in kind of with the supernatural. Have you ever had an experience in life to where you're headed down the road and you think I want to take this route, and then all of a sudden something tells you not to take that route, and later
right,
on you find out there was something awful was happening down in that other route, or you know what I'm saying?
right, absolutely.
Yeah,
And I've got the scars to prove it.
you.
So I mean, the thing is though, is that, if you know, like something just tells you like, hey, look, if I take that route, if I do this one certain thing today,
Hmm.
I'm probably not going to make it. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you
I've
listen
even
to that,
had it. I've even had it happen when I was looking to buy something, and I wanted it. It was just really what I wanted, but something at that moment told
right?
me that you know, yeah, you still
Yeah. So
having
I mean,
you still having activity out there.
oh yeah,
He's just staring
I've
into
heard the
the.
crickets. I hadn't heard anything from
yeah.
them.
But like I say, if people pay attention to their sixth sense, their hunting ability, things like that. See, that's the thing. And you got to, in order, you've got to get out and uh, what do you call it? Adjust, like adjust to your surroundings. Like if you just go one occasionally, you see what I'm saying? If you just
Hmm.
go occasionally, if you just hunt occasionally, if you just fish occasionally, how how many people fish? They'll fish two or
Yeah,
three times a year. Okay, you see what
and
I'm
when
saying?
anymore when they do, they're on a very loud motorboat and a lot of people around them. You know what I'm saying? And drinking
Right,
beer and
right, right. So what I'm saying is that the more you get out, acclimate yourself to your surroundings, acclimate yourself to the wilderness and the outside, you know. And the Native Americans had the right idea, and the frontiersmen, the trappers and what have you. They had to, they got acclimated to their out. They trusted their sixth sense. They
Mhm.
they learned about things. So I mean, it's just and trust your eyes. If something's there 1 second and it's gone the next,
So
trust what you see.
tell us one of your Bigfoot stories you haven't shared yet.
Well, one time myself and one of my team members, Tim, was in this Bigfoot habitat area, and we we were we were finding all kinds of Bigfoot evidence. Okay, and a lot of tracks. My God, tracks everywhere. I mean, structures everywhere. Just a lot of houses. We hadn't seen one yet, so we were on this game trail, and we were overlooking this. It was like a very 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 small field, and out walked two Bigfoot. Just walked out into the field, and we were like, I mean, even though we were looking for them, it was like, my God, there they are. And okay, as soon as we seen them, they seen us. Okay, and of course they booked back in the woods. I mean, you talk about quick, but I mean, I'll never forget that, and Tim won't either. But I mean, it was just one of those things where, it's like a ghost thing. Like, you see what I'm saying? You see these ghost hunters on TV, and they're looking for ghosts, and all of a sudden, guess what? They find one.
Yeah.
Well, it was like me and Tim. We were out there. We were finding we'd been to this place many, many times. Found all kinds of evidence every time we went. Heard all kinds of howls, growls, whoops, all kinds of stuff. And then here we were cutting down. Well, actually, we were coming away from a kill zone area where they had actually where they had set up an ambush area, and we were going down to the just going down the trail, the game trail, this deer trail, and all of a sudden they come right out of the woods into this small clearing, and we were like, wow, hey, that's cool as hell. And then they beat it back into the woods. But I mean, but stuff like that. Another time, following this track line that was about 1.5 miles long. Went about 1.5 miles long, and through the forest, and we come to this big field, like a pasture area, and it had been raining for several days, and the tracks were easy to follow. You know what I'm saying?
That was behind us.
I know, just from Jeff, that was behind us.
That was behind us.
And
What'd you hear? What'd you hear?
it was behind us.
It was like a crashing behind us.
Yeah. But anyway, and then just all of a sudden, we're almost to the middle of the field. And all of a sudden, the tracks disappear. There's no more tracks.
From
I mean, it's like, where the hell to go? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
so
I mean, it's,
so you could yeah, wow. So you could tell the tracks were headed toward the center of the field.
well, it was like it was just cutting across the field. So we were following the tracks, just like we'd been following the tracks of the forest,
And then all of a sudden they just vanished.
and just gone. We fanned out trying to find. We didn't find anything. But see, that's what I'm saying. There's something going on there with the Bigfoot that is truly supernatural. It's truly something that's much different than what people. And I don't think it's strange for them. I think it's just the way they are.
This one, she asked if is Bigfoot nervous of us as we are of them. Well, there are some shy ones.
Yeah.
I mean, they're voyeurs. They watch us, just like we want to watch them. But
we'll be in the tent and they'll watch. They'll listen to us.
So
they'll have. I mean, they know who we are. Like the phone with Don.
yeah.
They knew he walked there.
Well, now some of these people tell that story again because some of these people just came on.
Okay. So Don hikes every day through this particular area. And as he was going through, he does a couple times on the trail. As he was going through, there's this one particular part where he relieves himself. Okay.
Yeah.
So when he came through second time around, on this particular stone was a phone, an older cordless phone that you would use in your house.
A house
So he
phone, not a
left.
cell phone.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
He left mints there, goes up, decides he's coming back, and the mints were gone.
But there was a phone.
And the phone was, yeah. So he
Yeah.
took the phone, said thank you,
Gave
And-
him some more mints.
and gave more mints. So they I think that there is if they are familiar with you and they see you on a day-to-day basis, I think you're fine. You're not in danger.
Did
What
you
the heck was that?
did you hear that?
Did you guys?
No.
You guys have got to hear this. That was like a huge.
So on this phone, I gotta ask you, Don, what
Yeah.
did you do with the phone? Do you still have
Oh,
it?
I kept the phone, and I told
Yeah,
her we're gonna
okay,
put this
well.
in our Bigfoot museum.
Okay, now Playful Rain says she heard. I'm on a
big
laptop
crash?
here that I'm not at home. Did you heard that, Playful Rain? Yes. Whatever you heard, she heard.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
like boom.
it's like it's I don't know. They're like rolling bowling balls in the woods or something. I don't know. But if you go to an area, make a habit of going to an area, they'll get used to seeing you there. And see what happened with Don is he recognized they were there because they left him some stick markers.
okay.
And then when he went back again, they were gone. So
And bowed trees.
and bowed trees, they bowed more trees.
They sure
And
did.
the X, the trees that they put to look like an X. So he recognized that they were doing it. And I think that made them feel comfortable enough.
They knew I knew who they were.
Right. And so they felt comfortable enough to leave him a gift.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know? I mean, they get familiar with you. There's a particular place we go to a couple times a year. And last time we were there, I think we told you this, they set up camp like, I don't know how many yards from the tent. And then they did it on the other side. And then as we were sleeping, they had come into the camping area and put sticks, stuck them in the ground. Almost, I mean, there was over a dozen.
Yeah. That's what they do.
But they're sneaky. They're sneaky. They can be silent or they can be loud.
Yeah.
So you guys do not have a website. You just have a Facebook page.
Just
The Facebook page.
We used to have a YouTube channel.
And so how would people find your Facebook page to join you?
You can go to Team Peak, Don and Celeste.
TP?
Team Peak, TEANPEAK.
Okay, Team Peak. You spell out Team Peak.
Don and Celeste.
Okay.
I also post on Go Fishing with Don Peak too.
Okay. So these guys post all kind of pictures. They keep kind of updates as the things they're discovering out in their research. So it's worthy of going and joining them on their Facebook page and follow them.
Yeah.
And they are always full of some wonderful stories, mind-blowing stories. And one of the most mind-blowing is what really connected us the first time, because Don decided he was going to take a trip without leaving the farm.
Yeah. You're all gonna have to come up there sometime and check it out too, Kelsey.
Well, we want to. You were going to have surgery, so we backed off.
I decided not to have that surgery.
Yeah, well, I'm glad for you. I hope you feel better.
It was going to be too evasive.
Yeah. So y'all just got to let us know when's a good time, and we'll make arrangements for that trip around both our schedules. Would love to do that.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that would be
do
good.
A live stream from that location.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
We'll see if Bigfoot carries off Kelsey into the night.
There you go. Well, if I went into that portal that Don or Celeste or somebody went through, they might leave and hope I never came back.
I've heard reports of in South Carolina, but I've never seen any.
You lived in South Carolina
Yeah, I
for a
lived
while.
in South Carolina for several years.
On Huntington Island, one other
I didn't live on Hunting Island. I lived near it.
near it, yeah.
But I've never seen evidence. But I've heard. Now, Lizard Man was a big thing in South Carolina. Yeah, I never saw any evidence either, but I spent too much time at the beach, so I was really just looking for sharks and gators.
Beach bunny.
Yeah.
Well,
So, yeah, I was
uh,
just answering her question, Playful Rain. She said she lived in
Yeah.
South Carolina.
As far as Bigfoot hurting anybody, I think they're capable of hurting people. I think Dogman's capable of hurting people. But, I mean, I've had rocks thrown at me. Celeste has had rocks thrown at her, limbs and everything else. And what have you. And I'm sure if they wanted to, they could. But
Oh, yeah.
but
Look, they have to be on target when they hunt for prey. They have to be. So
Right.
if they wanted to hurt you, they could. Most of the times when they do that, it's to scare you off. And oftentimes I think it's because there's young around. Because we have found small footprints
yeah.
along with big ones. So we know they've had young. Just the other day we were in an area and I think it was on the video where Don had seen something shimmy out of a tree.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So, it was fast.
I mean, fast. It was like a fireman going down a damn, sliding down a pole. I don't see how anything can go down a tree bark like that. But man, it went down quick.
Yeah, I did not see it. I missed it. I was, I don't know what I was doing, but I missed it.
I've barely seen it.
In an earlier comment, Brandon from Blount County indicated that there had been a sighting in or very near Huntsville, Alabama, in kind of an urban area. Have y'all ever had an experience that would be considered in a more populated urban area?
For a Bigfoot?
Yeah. Or Dogman, any kind of experience.
Well, I don't know we want to answer about the Bigfoot, but yeah, the Dogman, yeah.
I've heard stories that the Bigfoot were in Detroit, inhabiting some of those abandoned homes.
Well, there's a lot of them up there.
Yeah. Abandoned buildings, I mean, they're opportunists too, but I don't think they live in them or stay in them. I think they migrate. Honestly, I do.
So
you may
as they're
have a
traveling
few.
through, yeah.
Right. They utilize them.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what
I'll
that
tell you
is.
something weird about the Dogman. Like you take Louisville, Kentucky, usually about towards the end of winter in March and into April.
Jeez.
My God.
You guys did not hear
Did
that?
you hear that?
I didn't, but my audio on this computer is not too great. So
I mean,
I'm going to go back and listen to this when I get to my desktop and get better
My
audio.
God.
What was that?
But anyway,
What was it? I mean, what did you hear?
sound like
Crashing.
crashing through the woods.
Crashing through the woods.
Boy,
Maybe
no deer.
Bigfoot knows. Maybe
Just what it
Bigfoot
was.
knows we're talking about him. He don't
Just
like
what it
gossip.
Yeah. But
Did you hear the voice?
I heard something. I don't know what it was. But anyway, the Dogman will be for whatever reason for about a month there, from about the very first to the middle of March,
Mm-hmm.
all the way until about the middle of April, in one certain area in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, why is that? I had no idea.
Hmm.
You know, but that's when we get most of our.
That was him over there. That was our neighbor.
Oh, okay. But see the thing.
Anybody? I just want to bring everybody up to date. A lot of people joined us in the last little bit. Don and Celeste of Team Peak are out in the woods, or in primitive camping, I believe. You in a tent?
Yeah.
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 And they are live streaming on location, as we like to say. And this has been a hot spot for them. So we're not going to divulge exactly where they are because they don't tell. They don't want these areas to become swamp for Bigfoot hunters. And during the show, there has been all kind of activities from I didn't hear it, but somebody else had heard it described
Yeah.
not as a howling, but as a crying sort of, or maybe a screaming.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then
I mean,
big tree limbs being tossed to the ground. It sounded like.
yeah, crashing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's just
Echoing from somewhere.
yeah, this is an awesome area, and it's just we come through here a lot, and
So
we have several other areas that are just excellent too. Yeah.
So every little bit we'll be talking, and all of a sudden they will start looking around and talking about something they heard that unfortunately I haven't heard. Kevin, did you have another question you want to bring up to them?
Well, I don't know if we have enough time. Well, we got a little time. I thought about it earlier. We're talking about all these different cryptids where there's forests and places like that. There's lakes too. Have you ever had anything strange or seen anything strange in the lake? Like,
well, we just seen something a few minutes ago.
Well, just before sunset.
Yeah.
Just before sunset.
There was something that
I gotta go get the other one.
was in the lake that had quite of a trail to it.
oh,
You know.
wow.
The
I'm originally from like way upstate New York, and we have Champy.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love Champ.
but it looked that was really strange what we seen. We followed it and with our eyes and everything. You know, we couldn't make out what the hell it was.
Yeah, I've always said we don't know what all, we were saying earlier, Catherine mentioned we don't know. We've not seen all the species out there in the waters. And the ocean.
There is monsters that's in the Ohio River up there around Evansville.
Yeah, I've heard about
It's in the river up there that will try to drown you if you go in the water.
Is that the one people don't know, but the creature from the Black Lagoon in the 50s was based on a Gilman type cryptid that had been reported? Is that the one was the Ohio River?
Yeah, Ohio River up there by Evansville.
Because somebody described a creature with a claw-like hand and scales.
Right, absolutely, and try to drown a woman up there.
Yeah, and
yeah, she
So
survived.
I wonder if any of these creatures, while we're doing this, if they are sitting around discussing us the same way.
yeah, I was going to say that earlier.
They're discussing Don's beard.
They're going, I tell you, I saw a human earlier. Nah, you're making that up.
Wait, there was a meme where Sasquatch was saying, we're gonna go out in the woods and see if we can see a human, and we're gonna do the human call, and they start doing Sweet Caroline, and then somebody goes ba ba ba, it's a human.
In Alabama they say Sweet Home Alabama. So.
Yeah.
I have read a story I thought it was an adorable Bigfoot encounter where this family, I couldn't even know, I don't know what state, where it was here. It was here in the U.S., but this family was out enjoying the woods near a lake, and they had a little girl, probably 5 or 6 years old, and she kind of got ahead of them. And to their shock, here comes a Bigfoot coming out of the woods, not looking at them. It's just coming out like he's just minding his own business. And he turns quickly as they're shocked. He's shocked. And the little girl screams and turns and runs. And Bigfoot yells and turns and runs the other way. And I thought that's adorable.
One of my favorite stories is about this family that went camping, and I think this happened in Ohio. I'm not sure. It was been a long time since I've read it, but the boy's family always told him, he was probably 6 or 7, you can go in the woods, but don't go any further than the range of your hearing. So make sure you can hear us. And so he's playing in the woods, and then he realizes he can't hear his family. Well, he starts to freak out, and he's crying and hollering for his family, and he's crying and crying.
You're getting distracted.
I think something just got thrown.
Yeah, something thrown at us.
So I'm sorry. So anyway, the boy recounts that out of nowhere, this big hairy woman came out of the woods, grabbed him by his hand, and took him back to where his family was, and just dropped him off there and left. And I love that story. He goes, it was like unceremoniously, she just grabbed him and dragged him through the woods. He was all scratched up. I guess she got tired of his crying.
Take your baby back.
He's upset with my children.
Yep, not my child. Not my child.
It's about quitting time here, folks. We always enjoy these stories, and they have been out there. They are closer to it than the average person, and they certainly have experienced a whole lot over the years. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you guys. I've had the opportunity to talk privately to Don quite a bit, and I always enjoy those conversations. And unfortunately, sometimes I have to do other things, so I have to hang up on him. I'm supposed to be retired too, but it didn't work out too good. I get too many phone calls and emails. But anyway, I enjoy what I do, just like I know you enjoy your lives as well. Hope to get up there and see you guys shortly. Let us know, Don, Celeste, when you guys will be together and when we can come up there and spend a little bit of time up there, and maybe I can get lost in the portal.
I hope not. I'm not coming after you, though, if you do.
I don't know if I'm one of those guys that I stand out in the field and say, beam me up. I'm ready to leave this planet.
Yeah, but you may end up in a worse situation.
Yeah, getting probed up the butt and everything.
You mean the grass is not greener? You mean the grass is not greener on the other side?
No, it's fertilized with the same thing.
It's just brown dirt on the other side.
Yeah.
Flip it over.
And Catherine said good night to everybody.
Good night.
And
I
would stick around and talk a little bit, but in the morning, I'm either going to be riding back to Alabama on a Gold Wing with less money in my pocket, or I'll be going home with almost the same amount of money in my pocket. We'll find out tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.
Well, good luck to you.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, it's always great to come on your show, Kelsey.
Well, let's do it again.
Good deal.
If you want to. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, y'all be careful out in the woods. I hear there's all kind of activity out there.
There is. None of the good times in the great outdoors.
There you go. Good night, everybody. Thank everybody for joining us tonight.
We enjoyed the comments.